Hello, good evening. Am I audible? Hello. Yeah, Srishti, good evening. Am I audible to everyone? Yes, good evening. Apeksha, good evening. Mohammed, good evening. Priya, good evening. Am I audible to everyone? Yes. So I just gave an introduction to machine learning. So what do you mean by machine learning? So whatever may be the real world problems, whichever sector you go for, e-commerce sector or you go for banking, financial sector. So wherever you go, a huge volume of data is being generated. One important thing is I need to collect the data, I need to analyze the data, and I am going to make some important predictions. What is hidden behind the data? This is what is, and they are going to make some important predictions. What is going to happen in the future? Clear? So basically for doing any kind of machine learning problems, as I told you, right, in case of financial industry or whichever industry, e-commerce industry, Amazon, Flipkart, a huge volume of transactions are happening every day. Everything is becoming online. Many movie sites, many e-commerce sites, and many other sites are being developed. So what are all the important terms you should understand about machine learning? So you should consider three important terminologies. What do you mean by a data set? What do you mean by features? And what do you mean by model? So what do you mean by a data set? A data set, from the term you can just understand, it is nothing but a collection of data examples. Whatever may be the problem, for example, how a metallurgical person, a person in the metallurgical industry, how he is going to predict the rainfall condition based on features. Features are nothing but important pieces of information which help us in solving a problem. So whatever is the type of problem, say for example, if I want to predict the disease, with changing lifestyle and food habits and culture, many lifestyle diseases are spreading. Diabetes is a major lifestyle disease. So based on the glucose level, insulin level, so diabetes disease is spreading at a very fast rate. So features. So based on all these features, I am going to predict whether a person is affected by a disease or he is not affected by a disease. Similarly, if I want to classify the movie reviews, if I want to classify the customer reviews in an e-commerce industry, whether it indicates a positive sentiment or a negative sentiment, for doing any kind of analysis, I require features. I am going to collect the data samples from various sources and I am going to extract the essential features. First, I need to understand the problem. So what is meant by machine learning? It is nothing but problem solving. So first, if I want to find a solution to any problem, first I need to understand the problem. So with the help of features, I am going to understand the problem. Features are nothing but important pieces of information which help us in solving a problem. And what do you mean by a model? It is nothing but the internal representation of a phenomenon that the machine learning algorithm has learnt. I can go for any type of algorithms. All these are the important terminologies you should understand. So whenever you are going for any kind of machine learning models, whenever you are doing any kind of machine learning development, all these are the important terminologies you should understand. What do you mean by a data set? What do you mean by a feature? And what do you mean by a model? Clear? So far I just gave an introduction. So what do you mean by a data set and what do you mean by a feature and what do you mean by a model? For example, what do you mean by a features? You can consider, for example, if I want to predict some disease or if I want to predict the movie reviews, if I want to predict some disease, for example, liver disease or diabetes disease. So diabetes is a major lifestyle disease. So how I am going to predict this disease? With the help of features. Features are nothing but important pieces of information which help us in solving a problem. I am going to consider the glucose level, insulin level, pressure level, temperature. So I am going to consider all these features and I am going to predict the disease, whether a person is affected by a disease or he is not affected by a disease. Clear? Features. So you can call this as column attributes or parameters or features. Features are nothing but important pieces of information which help us in solving a problem. So with the help of all these features, I am going to predict whether a person is affected by a disease or he is not affected by a disease. So I am going to collect the data set. It is nothing but a collection of data samples, comma separated value files. I am going to collect the CSV data from various sources, from